Hello everyone, welcome back to my course on enhancing soft skills and personality. I am Ravichandran giving you this course from NPTEL MOOC at IIT Kanpur. This is the 6th week and the first unit of 6th week, and on the whole this is lesson number 26. Now at this point I thought I should introduce to you a very interesting topic and a very relevant one and a very beneficial one, that is significance of humor in communication. So in this unit, in this module that begins with the lecture on the significance of humor, so we will look at like why humor and what are the benefits and how effectively can we use humor in communication. And before we start, I just wanted to let you know what we did in the last lecture, highlights of the last lesson. In the last lesson, you checked your score for 20 commonly confused words and then learnt about the correct usage for 30 more words. Okay. But the most important of all, I concluded by motivating you to continue trying more and more sentences, learn more rules, break them, commit mistakes and then learn from the mistakes. In order to improve your English further, I gave you two web links, one on daily writing tips, the other one on English practice. I hope you are making a regular visit to these sites, and I hope some of you have subscribed to daily writing tips, because they will email you, if you have subscribed, each day at least one confused, misused pair of words, or sometimes they will email you about grammar tips which will help you develop your communication in terms of English language skills in a very effective manner. So, as I said, I can always show you some path. As it is said in the English proverb, you can take a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink. So, the thirst is something that I can create, but it is up to you to continue in that path and develop and enhance your skills further. Now, in this unit, as you are progressing in your soft skills, as you are progressing in developing your communication, a very important component about making your communication effective is adding humor in your communication. Now, let us see why it is important and why you should add that. First of all, humor, if you are putting somebody to laughter, to humor simply means to put someone in good mood either by telling jokes or doing something funny. So, maybe you use a word play or you share a very interesting and funny anecdote, but then you arouse laughter, at least you make them feel amused about something that you said or something that you do. Now, when you are humorous, you provoke laughter and make everybody around you relax. So, you try to reduce the tension and then you make people around you relax. Why humor? It is important to be humorous in life as it minimizes worries and enhances happiness. People who laugh actually live longer, and there is some truth in this proverbial statement that laughter is the best medicine. So, whatever problems that you have in life, so one of the best remedies is to laugh. People who learn how to laugh at themselves and unforeseen circumstances live longer. What does it mean? So, those who are able to laugh at themselves instead of taking you very seriously, if you can see you as a funny person, as a person who is fallible, who are likely to commit errors, who are prone to mistakes, and then if you learn how to laugh at those mistakes, you actually live longer, and especially if you are able to laugh at unforeseen circumstances which normally causes stress, but if you are able to laugh at even those situations thinking that they are temporary and they will leave you soon, and putting a very worried face is not going to help you much. So, that will make you live longer and especially in a very cheerful manner. In life, if you look at our own emotions, we tend to forget sad moments, but we would like to cherish happy occasions. So, if you look at the people who made you sad and the people who made you happy, you will always try to forget those people who made you sad, those people who made you cry. Okay. And even if it comes to your memory, you would like to push it behind, you would like to suppress it, you do not want to recall those sad moments in your life. But we will always happily remember those people who made us laugh. And then sometimes even the thought of looking back at some of the jokes that those people cracked will also make us laugh and will always change our mood. So, why humor? Because overall it tries to spread positivity, it tries to bring the best in human beings, both in you as well as in the other person. Remember, we talked about emotional intelligence, humor, your ability to cause humor, your ability to assess what makes people laugh, what makes people relax and say it at the appropriate time. It is part of your emotional intelligence, it represents your EQ. So, people who actually try to crack good jokes and then make appropriate humor and then make it very effective generally are seen as witty people. And it is also true, it looks like the comedians in plays or the jokers in circus, usually they make lot of jokes and all that, but most of the time these are the people who are most intelligent, and then because of their intelligence they are able to cover up their intelligence and then they are able to evoke laughter in others. Can we use humor as a communication strategy? Yes, of course, because people who excel in effective communication, they have learnt the art of using humor very effectively in their communication, whether it is in terms of enacting plays or in terms of dealing with people in workplace, wherever you see. So, people who have understood the effective use of humor have always been successful. Great playwrights like Shakespeare used appropriate humor to intensify the emotional content of their plays. Particularly in Shakespeare's Hamlet, which is supposed to be a very tragic play. Even in such a tragic play, Shakespeare uses humor in very incongruous situations, incongruous like seemingly contradictory because they are very tragic moments and then Shakespeare introduces humor, or very horrifying occasions and then he brings in humor suddenly. So, even in incongruous situations like the time when the ghost appears or when the grave diggers dig the grave for the innocent Ophelia. So, Ophelia is a very innocent woman, but she is killed because of another tragic situation, her love for Hamlet, and then Hamlet appears to have become mad and then that worries her and then she dies. Now, at the time of digging the grave, they are making jokes. Now, why even Shakespeare is using this? If you look at it very strategically, humor is mixed at horrifying and tragic moments in plays like this to make the pain bearable. If you keep on adding to the pain, so it becomes totally unbearable and people with light heart may become heartbroken and then they may even die of increased blood pressure and all that. So, they make the situation very intense in terms of seriousness, but at the same time these playwrights also break it by introducing humor. Similarly, jokes and humorous anecdotes can break monotony in communication. So, very eminent speakers, effective teachers, what they do is when the lectures become very boring, sometimes dry. So, they try to spice up the lectures by bringing in relevant humor. I always remember my grammar teacher, so who made the classes glamorous, okay, very scintillating, by sprinkling the classes with lot of humor, and most of the humor is relevant in terms of the sentence that he was giving. Instead of making the sentence very boring and monotonous, he was giving us very funny sentences. The way we have analyzed, discussed were also very humorous. So, we remember the rules and at the same time we enjoyed the class, which any normal teacher would have made it very boring. So, humor can be used as a very effective communication strategy, but at the same time you should be cautious. There are at least 3 basic levels in which you can use humor. Okay. At a very simple level, smile itself can reduce pressure. So, as they say, when you smile, they say smile, it improves your face value. So, when you smile, actually there are so many muscles on your face, so they get relaxed. And look at the quote from Victor Bore. He says that a smile is the shortest distance between two people. So, even strangers, okay, even unknown people, or even people who have some kind of misunderstanding, a gentle smile before starting the conversation can actually reduce the distance. So, smile is there always at the simple level. At a higher level, making one laugh to the point of crying, making one roar in laughter, giving them belly laughter. Okay. Now, when you are able to do that, as when you watch the comedies, cartoons, okay, by very eminent comedians like Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy. So, you always like roar in laughter. So, you get that belly laughter and sometimes to the point of even crying. Now, when you do that, humor is good, it is healthy, it is effective and positive. And this is the kind of humor that I want you to develop, something that is healthy, something that is good, something that is effective and achieve some kind of positive results. But at a lower level, again you can use humor, but that amounts to passing sarcastic remarks, poking fun on others, teasing others, laughing at others' disability, joking on others' physiques, such as somebody is so fat or so thin, or like in terms of becoming taller or shorter. So, depending on the person's physique, the body structure, making fun of it or making fun of the race, caste, religion or anything personal are all negative and should be carefully avoided. So, when you start using humor in communication, beware of these pitfalls. Okay, beware of these pitfalls, because when you use a smile, as it was said before, it can reduce the distance, but a sarcastic joke can distance a person forever. You think that it is funny and then you make fun of a person before others, and that person feels that you have lost respect for that particular person and the person never talks to you after that. So, a precious life may be lost, okay, precious relationship may be lost, just because you try to joke on the person at a very inappropriate manner, at a very low level. So, the point that you should focus, so simple smile. So, if you can go with a smile, make people smile, that is at a simple level. At a higher level, make them laugh, but never go to the lower level where you are actually trying to humiliate people and make people regret. You may be the only person laughing, or some very other perverted group of people may join you and laugh at somebody, but making somebody this butt of ridicule is not healthy. So, that kind of humor should be avoided. Now, if you ask me the question, can I develop humor? The interesting answer is that we need not develop humor, as it is something that we are born with. It is something like our birthright. So, we are all born with our own sense of humor. We all have refined taste for humor. Look at the newly born child, it uses smile, okay, and how contagious that smile is. When we see that, so we feel something in us getting invigorated. So, we feel the freshness of life. And what is the baby doing? The baby is smiling or laughing to show appreciation, to show liking, to show comfort, to express warmth. Okay. So, all positive emotions the baby tries to show by just by smiling. Even you will see these babies smiling while they were sleeping. Okay. So, that is another sign that they are very comfortable, they are happy, and then they are even in the sleep, whatever dreams they are getting. So, that actually keeps them very happy. So, that only proves that we all have innate taste for humor. It is inherent in us. So, only we need to invoke, revoke. Why? Because as we grow up, as we get stressed in terms of adulthood life, and then slowly we grow, we mature, we get into work pressure. Okay. As we start getting stressed for time, managing time, trying to make this both ends meet. So, we sort of become like morons, very dull witted, and as if we never laughed, our face becomes very serious and then worried, and then it sort of repels people who would like to be cheerful otherwise. So, how can you develop humor in case you have lost this sense because of work pressure and all that? So, try to associate with people who are humorous, try to meet them once in a while, okay, if possible once in a day during a coffee break. So, have some jokes, okay, and then let it be very beneficial kind of joke, okay, with no malignity involved in it. Jokes not in terms of gossiping or passing negative remarks on somebody, but then there are lot of things that we can laugh at, admire in life. So, that kind of humor, if you are able to share it with your colleagues, and if you are able to find colleagues or friends with whom at least once in a while you can go and then touch base and then make each other laugh. So, that will be very nice in a day. Apart from that, there are people who keep their sense of humor by watching cartoons or comic programs. So, even like stand up comedies on the TV. So, they watch it, and then what they do is they share some interesting anecdotes from what they watched. Okay, they share it with their friends. So, that also helps you develop your humor, especially if it has become dormant in you. The other good thing that even doctors suggest is, if you are able to watch some kind of comic program or listen to something or even talk to people, and then if you can laugh wholeheartedly before you sleep, so you get a very peaceful sleep. Okay. So, try to do that. So, it will give you a very relaxed kind of sleep. You will get up in a very refreshed mood, and then you will be having all the strength and then determination to complete the pending activities very quickly and take up new challenges, and then again like make it a positive cycle. So, again before going to bed 15 minutes, half an hour, just listen or watch or be in part of discussion with people where you can actually laugh, give that wholehearted laugh. What are the benefits? Now, it bears repetition to note that humor keeps you healthy. So, like laughter is the best medicine, and when you laugh, what happens is you breathe freely and easily. So, thus laughter will enhance respiration, and as I said, you relax many of your face muscles when you laugh. Laughter enhances blood circulation. So, when blood circulation is there, normally you will feel very active, and it will automatically suppress stress, and overall it strengthens your immune system. Humor also kind of eases tension. Wherever there is tension, and if you are able to find somebody cracking a joke or doing something to ease the tension, so you will actually lose the seriousness. Sometimes humor occurs in unusual places, unexpected situations. I remember a very interesting occasion when I was traveling somewhere in the US. It was a very cold wintry morning, and it is a very early flight, and the airport itself was too cold, and people also were feeling that cold, and flights were getting cancelled. People were worried about the snow outside, and that was a very grim situation. Flights continuously getting rescheduled or delayed or cancelled. So, I was bit concerned about my flight, whether I will be able to take it, because I am taking it from one end, I am going to the other end. So, in that seriousness, like I was just walking, and then I am supposed to reach the security check. So, on the path towards security check, another officer was coming, and it was a narrow path. So, I thought that I should give him way. So, I just moved this side. So, spontaneously he also moved this side. So, then I moved this side. So, he also moved this side. So, the next time I started making a movement this side. So, he immediately said, "Shall we dance?" So, the moment he said, "Shall we dance?" So, I just laughed, and then I stopped. I said, "So, I think you should go first," and then he went. Now, I did not expect that he will say this at that moment, and my mind was so preoccupied with catching that flight and hoping that the flight will not get delayed. Now, I got into the flight. Again, the people inside, the air hostess for example, one of them, so she was also very humorous. See, around the flight was early in the morning, around 7 o'clock, and people were drowsy, and as I said, very serious and very concerned about the flight schedule, and you find people lightening that kind of seriousness by cracking appropriate timely jokes. So, in the US, so you have some flights in which you just go and occupy your seats as per your preference. So, no seats will be allotted to you. So, I was boarding one such flight, and then I was inside, and I could see in the front side so much crowd, and people were just crowding there and then trying to occupy the ones on the front side. And then the air hostess on the rear side, she just remarked, she just made an announcement. She said that the flight will land first on the rear side. So, I request all the passengers to occupy some seats on the rear side also. The way she said it, that the flight lands first on the rear side, so everybody laughed. Okay. Now, obviously, like that sort of reduced the tension in which people are looking for the seats in the front, and many moved towards the other side and then occupied the seats. But that thought that to reduce the seriousness, reduce this tension or friction that is happening, that can be effectively reduced by using humor. Humor makes you successful in transactions, business transactions, personal transactions. So, any kind of communication, when you are involved in one to one communication, one to many communication, okay, in interviews, I've spent quite some time in the previous course videos on interviews. So, if you watch some of them, I have given lot of emphasis on your ability to make the situation light-hearted by cracking jokes or creating humor in interviews. Why? If you are able to create some kind of humor, if you can make the people laugh, so they will try to see one kind of light-hearted personality that is otherwise hidden. So, your CV looks you are a very high achiever and you are very studious in your studies and all that. It looks like you are a very serious person, but then very appropriate humor and a timely one that makes the panel members smile or laugh. So, that actually will kind of win you the seat that you are trying for. When you make people laugh, you actually win the transaction, whether it is personal or it is business. So, that's a key to success in communication. Mostly, whether even if you are bargaining for something in the market, if you can make the other person laugh or if you can make the other person smile, so you are actually winning the heart of the other person and you are taking the person to your side, and then you are making the person reduce the price or do some favor, because you have actually made the person happy. So, you will win the transaction whether in personal or in business one. In personal, like I do not know how far it is true, but they generally say that people who like each other, whether as business partners or as marital partners, the initial relationship is set, it is decided, determined by the level in which they made each other happy by telling jokes, by setting the frequency level in which they understood each other, that they can make the other person happy and comfortable by cracking jokes, okay, by laughing at situations together. So, that is why if you are able to make the other person laugh, you win the game, you win the transaction. Now, when I say this, so you should not make deliberate attempts to make the other person laugh, and then they may feel that you are trying to do something fraudulent. It has to be very natural and spontaneous. Also, try to use humor in order to make a point, in order to give a message, because humor, if you think about the situation that you have come across, humor makes you remember things easily and humor can convey a message effectively. I have never forgotten any humorous stories that were told to me from childhood, and when I look back, I always remember that oh, these things I remember because I laughed at these stories, and then I told other people also these stories and made them laugh. I am going to conclude this lecture with one interesting story, small anecdote that I enjoyed hearing again and again, and I share it with my students and friends. So, this is about the Indian frog. Some of you might have heard this in different versions like Indian crabs and all that, but I like the title Indian frog, which actually talks about the Indian mindset. But before I come to the message, what is the story? The story is about one teacher who wanted to conduct some experiments, especially the teacher being a biology teacher. So, he needed some frogs for conducting this or dissecting them and then identifying some body parts. So, he wanted to give some frogs to the students for conducting that experiment. So, he came to know that there is a local vendor who has a huge storage and where he can give any number of frogs. So, when he called him up and asked him whether he can give him some 300 frogs for the entire batch of students. So, the vendor told him that yeah, I can give, but what kind of frogs you want? Do you want the American frogs, the Chinese frogs or the Indian frogs? And then he went on talking about so many types of frogs. The teacher was obviously confused, and then the teacher asked him in great puzzle. He asked, I never thought that frogs will have various types. I just thought frogs are frogs. To which the vendor said, why not you come to my storage place and then take a quick look at them and decide for yourself. So, out of curiosity, the teacher went to that godown in which he had stored all of them. So, they are kept in huge containers, okay, and outside the label was written as American frog, Chinese frog and Indian frog. Now, there was a strange thing that the teacher noted. On the top of the American frog, the container was sealed and sealed with 2 lids, and Chinese frog also sealed with 2 lids. When it came to Indian frog, the top part was just open and the bottom part was sealed twice. Now, this again puzzled the teacher, and then the teacher asked the vendor, so what is the difference? They all look like frogs. And then the person said that they are all very active and there are some differences. So, he said that can you tell me why you have put these lids on the top and then you have covered them, especially this American frog and Chinese frog and almost many other frogs, you have put this lid on the top and you have covered them, okay, very tightly. To which the vendor said, oh, these American frogs and Chinese frogs, you know, they are very active. So, they keep on jumping. So, in order to prevent them, so we have put the seal on the top and we have sealed it so much so that they do not jump out. So, we just send them some oxygen through some small holes inside, but otherwise we do not let them jump out. Again the teacher, surprised, he asked, what about the Indian frogs? Aren't they active like the American frogs and Chinese frogs? The vendor said, yes, of course, they are very active. So, won't they jump? He said, of course, they will jump. Then how come you have kept the top portion completely open? So, won't they jump out? To which the vendor replied, he said that, don't you know about the Indian frogs? He said, what? You know, if one frog jumps, the other frog will pull it down. So, one frog jumps, the other will pull it down. So, there is no way these frogs will jump out. So, because of this mentality, what we have done is we have put 2 lids at the bottom and then we have sealed the bottom so tight, so that they should not break the bottom and come out. There is so much pressure at the bottom. So, this is a very interesting story. So, like I have been told by my teachers and then told that you should not have this Indian mindset, Indian mentality. When one person wants to come up in his life, like for example, even by developing language fluency, even by developing communication, you should not make fun, you should not pull the person down. So, to illustrate this, the teacher told us this story, and then till date I remember this and I share it with my students. The reason is the humor that was involved, the way it was narrated, and interestingly, if you look at it, the topmost part of the other frogs, they are sealed, whereas in the Indian frogs case, it is the bottom part that is sealed and the top is kept open, and like if they jump, they pull them down. So, just to indicate that you should not be like that person, and I hope that in case occasionally you start doing it and then keep this story in mind, do not become this typical Indian frog. So, change that mindset, come out of that, help somebody to grow in his or her life. Let me conclude this lecture with two interesting quotes from two eminent writers. One is Bill Cosby. Both are talking about humor. So, this is what Bill Cosby has to say about humor. He says that through humor, you can soften some of the worst blows that life delivers. And once you find laughter, no matter how painful your situation might be, you can survive. So, what he means to say, life sometimes gives you the worst blow. You, whether you like it or not, willy-nilly get caught into a very tragic, traumatic situation in your life. But then if you are able to find some humorous situation, if you are able to make yourself humorous, if you are able to encircle yourself in light-heartening moments, he says that no matter how painful your situation might be, you can survive. It will reduce, it will alleviate the pain. And then Charles Dickens, a very famous novelist, he also says something similar, but how it can be a very positive force in influencing and changing others. He says, there is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. So, contagious, something that can spread so quickly as laughter and good humor. I do not know whether you have seen people undergoing laughter therapy. There are laughter sessions. So, you see them sometimes in parks, people sitting together and then just literally laughing out loud. And even if one person is very serious, looking at other people laughing, automatically it induces laughter even in that serious person. So, literally and figuratively also it is very contagious, and then it can spread laughter, and then it can spread good humor, and that is so irresistible. So, you cannot actually stop laughing after some time. So, there are even games in which people say that if you make this person laugh, so you will win this, and even people who try hard, they will not be able to stop laughter beyond a point. So, with this positive thought, let me conclude this with one interesting reference to a online source. There is something called humorproject.com. So, you should go to this one, and then there are interesting anecdotes. You can also join, you can share your interesting anecdotes, you can get subscribed to some of their sessions, and then you can get a lot of materials related to humor. But the purpose of this project is to spread this and then spread happiness through humor. So, join that and then start gaining your share of humor, and then gain positivity by gaining and sharing. So, with this thought, let me conclude this lecture. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will come back with the next lesson on how we can use humor in other situations, especially in business and working environment. Thanks again.